Easy, easy, easy. DBNK. Some do say debunk. What it do? How y'all doing? Let's get to it. Without further ado, listen, the cat was just being a kitten.
Now some horrifying news out of Oklahoma, where a tiger mauled and killed its handler. Ryan Easley ran the Growler Pines Preserve, which is a private facility offering tours and demonstrations with retired circus tigers. Ryan was also a former associate of imprisoned zoo owner and Netflix star Joe Exotic, at one point keeping some of his animals at the Tiger King's facility. Ryan was said to be nearing the end of a show when a tiger who he had handled since birth attacked him out of nowhere.
You know what? Wow. I laughed. I didn't mean to laugh, y'all. I'm sorry. That was just a giggle. You know when you give a nervous laugh, you know what I mean? You know when you give a nervous laugh, that's what that was. I wasn't laughing at the whole scenario, but come on, man. I don't understand how y'all think you can domesticate wild animals. But then here's the thing. The one thing I'm glad people didn't be like, oh, why did the tiger do that? Oh, he had known that that man was like his dad. How could it do that? The wild animal was being a wild animal. It was being what it was supposed to be. How y'all gonna live with these things? And you know what the crazy thing is? Let me just pull this back real quick.
Killed its handler. Ryan Easley ran the Growler Pines Preserve, which is a private facility offering tours and demonstrations with retired circus tigers.
You know what the crazy thing is? This man was having people come in for tours and demonstrations, which means that same tiger was in the same vicinity, most probably, with people who were not handlers, who were coming in to take pictures, touch it, have it come around them, you know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, that's like that tiger, it went off on the right person. Because if that tiger was to go off, on a visitor, bro, oh, we'd really be mad. Right now, we not mad. We not mad right now because you know what? You be like, okay, you spend so much time with that tiger as its handler. This shit was inevitable. It was bound to happen. You know what I mean? It was bound to happen, right? But if it's just some random visitor coming into the whatever, what is this? An enclosure, a zoo? I don't know what it is. If it's just a random person and that person gets mauled by this tiger, then you're like, oh no. Y'all didn't even have control of this thing. Okay, you had it with you since birth, but come on, man. It's a wild animal. Y'all don't even know when this thing is playing and when it's serious. Wow. This is crazy. I can't lie, this is crazy. You know what they say, right? You know what they say? Live by the gun, you die by the gun. I don't know. Poetic justice.
Ryan was also a former associate of imprisoned zoo owner and Netflix star Joe Exotic, at one point keeping some of his animals at the Tiger King.
Wait, Joey Exotic, isn't this one of the guy who was like, he had a zoo or something like that, like a private zoo type thing, keeping wild animals and like, yeah, like when you start deep diving into these stories, you're not really surprised at what happens because, I mean, this guy's friend, the guy who just got killed, his friend, I'm pretty sure, had some scandalous dealings with wild animals. I say scandalous dealings, but that's being nice. But anyways, let's go.
Facility. Ryan was said to be nearing the end of a show when a tiger who he had handled since birth attacked him out of nowhere. He suffered bites to his neck and shoulder. Ryan was just 37 years old.
Brother, he suffered bites to the neck and shoulder. A kitten that you raised since birth would never do that to you. A cat that you raised since birth, has a cat you raised since birth ever gone for your jugular? I mean, sure, they'll scratch, they'll nibble at your arms and ankles and shit, but that motherfucker will never go for the jugular. You know what I mean? That motherfucker knows not to bite the hand that feeds him. Not like that. Not to kill him. You know what I mean? But now you dealing with a wild animal. You dealing with a wild animal. And you treating a wild animal like it's domesticated. And you want us to come visit your place and act like this is a domesticated little pet, knowing damn well this is a wild animal. You see, this is the kind of thing like I saw a video. I was on X, I was scrolling X, and I see this video of these guys on an African safari, and they got a herd of elephants around them, right? They in a Jeep, a safari car, right? You know them how them safari cars are. They open all the way around, and you know the animals can pretty much, if they decide to attack, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So like this guy, the safari guide, right? He's sitting front seat, and then this elephant, big ass thing. You know how big elephants are. Big ass thing comes, like, you know, just strolling over to the safari ride, and then you know what this guy does? Sa, sa, sa. He's trying to. He's like, hey, sa, sa. He's trying to get the elephant to move, like it's gonna understand what he's saying to it. I don't know. Like these things is crazy, man. Y'all put yourself in compromising positions, and I'm not with it. But I'm here for it. As you can see. I'm here for it. So what can we do, guys? What can we actually do? Let's keep it rolling.
Joining us now is wildlife biologist and TV host Forrest Galante, who has decades of experience with apex predators. Forrest, thank you for coming on tonight.
Y'all hear that, right? Apex predators. A kitten ain't no apex predator. A cat, your pussy cat, ain't no apex predator. It's a predator, but it ain't no apex predator. But here we are.
Thank you.
This is beyond devastating. What was the first thing?
Wait a minute. Lady, this is not beyond devastating. This dude was dealing with a wild tiger. He might have raised it since birth, but just because he raised it since birth don't mean it's domesticated. It was wild. All right, it's a wild animal. Just because you raise something, that's like having a king cobra, right? Since hatching, and then being surprised that this motherfucker bit you. And then and then saying, what did she say?
Wildlife biologist and TV host Forrest Galante, who has decades of experience with apex predators. Forrest, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
This is beyond devastating.
This is like having a king cobra since hatch, right? Since it's hatched from the egg, and then it bites you and you die, and then you say, what?
Wildlife biologist and TV host Forrest Galante, who has decades of experience with apex predators. Forrest, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
This is beyond devastating.
Beyond devastating? Listen, beyond devastating is when you get killed by your kitten, right? Beyond devastating is when a child gets mauled by a pit bull that you raised since birth, right? Beyond it, an owner gets mauled by a pit bull he's raised since birth. Beyond devastating, right? But if you gonna say a man got mauled by a tiger, a wild animal, right? Just because you raised this tiger, this wild motherfucking animal since birth, don't mean you weren't being stupid. You weren't being naive. Brother, you was being naive. Look at him. Look at him. He's cuddling that thing like it's a kitten. That ain't no kitten. That thing was just waiting on you. It was like, you know, this brother here. This brother think he's the man. I'm the man. I'm the man in this bitch. He ain't the man, but he think is the man. So I'ma show him. I'ma show him. I just need him to feed me long enough for me to show him. But I'ma show him. Let him piss me off one more time and see what I'ma do to him. Alright? Beyond devastating. Get the fuck out of here, man.
What was the first thing that went through your mind when you heard about Ryan's death?
You know, it's just so sad. And
what's wrong with these people? This ain't sad. I don't even know if it's tragic. I know it ain't devastating, but it ain't sad. How is it sad? You are fucking with wild animals. What did you expect was gonna happen? This is what I fail to understand. What did you expect was gonna happen? They say you fuck around, you find out, right? You can do the graph. You seen the old man do the graph? You fuck around, you find out. What are we doing? How is this beyond devastating? How is this sad? Y'all tripping. I'm just saying, y'all tripping.
I can tell you without any doubt that the tiger did not attack him maliciously or attack him viciously.
The tiger did not attack him viciously nor maliciously, but he did, with bites to his neck and shoulder. Was he playing? Was she playing? What are we talking about here? Not malicious, not vicious, but he did? What? And then we gonna say beyond devastating and sad. Brother, man, Forrest Galante, I don't know how you are a wildlife biologist and TV host, but you gonna sit there and tell us, the audience, that this motherfucker didn't attack his handler maliciously nor viciously, but his handlers did. And we supposed to take this as sad and beyond devastating. What?
It was simply a mistake.
Oh. It was simply a mistake. It was not malicious, not vicious, just simply a mistake. Do tigers make mistakes? Have you ever in your life come across a tiger and heard it say, "Oops, I killed him by mistake"? That's not my nature. That was a mistake. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to do that. I was just playing. My teeth just sunk a little too deep. You know what I am, though. You knew what I was when you raised me. You knew what I was. When you played with me, you knew what I was. When I played rough, you knew what I was. But you don't call this a mistake? All right, if you say so. I don't know, man.
Problem is, when you're dealing with, a 500-pound wild cat, one little mistake, whether it's an agitation similar to what you get with your house cat, can be fatal.
Now we comparing a house cat to a wild tiger. And you know what the thing is, right? People are gonna say, "Oh, it wasn't wild just because he raised it since it was born." It's wild. The fact that you gotta keep it in an enclosure, the fact that you can't live with that motherfucker in your house like you do with a cat, kitten, dog, right? The fact that you can't live with that thing in your own house with your family like you do your kitten and your dog, means it's not domesticated. It's a wild animal. So this ain't no accident. This ain't no tragedy. This ain't devastating. This was bound to happen. You just got naive. You just got too confident. You got so overconfident, you started letting this motherfucker get confident. Rediscover its wild side. And it took a ride on its wild side. Believe that.
The difference with your house cat is it's a little scratch, and with the tiger, it's just a poorly placed bite that can end someone.
Forrest said it was a poorly placed bite. You know what I say? That tiger was following its natural instinct. That was a strategically placed bite. Alright? That motherfucker snapped. Let me out. You should have let me out time ago. I'm a tiger. I'm not domestic. I'm not your kitten. I'm not your doggy or poodle. I'm wild. You let me out before I do something crazy. And it did something crazy, but you gonna say it made a mistake. A poorly placed bite. What are we talking about?
Like Ryan's life. So it really is an unfortunate event.
Ryan handled this tiger since it was a cub. They were apparently very close. You have
They were apparently very close. I ain't never seen a baby tiger. I ain't never seen no heard of a baby tiger killing his mama, killing his daddy, killing his brothers, killing his sisters. Never. All right? They know family is family. We don't fuck with family. We might play rough, but that's just because we predators. We getting ready to go out and hunt. All right? But you ain't my mama. You ain't his daddy. You ain't his sister. You ain't his brother. And like you said, I'm an apex predator. Predator. And you think my bite to your neck is a poorly placed bite, a mistake, a tragedy, a devastating occurrence? Are you serious right now? You trolling. Nah, this Forrest, you trolling. I'm just gonna say it up front. You trolling, buddy.
experience with these animals close up. How unpredictable are they?
You know, a cat's a cat at the end of the day, Hannah. And I for any cat owners out there, you know exactly.
This man said a cat is a cat. Brother, this was no kitten. This was no cat. This was no domesticated animal. This was a tiger. I don't care how long you've had it, since birth, a year, 2 years, I don't care. It's a tiger. You know what a tiger is? Like you said, like she said, an apex predator. So what are we actually talking about here? What are you saying? Bruh, you're the expert. You're the expert. But here you are talking recklessly. Guess what? You talking this recklessly is going to lead to the next tiger handler getting mauled by his tiger. Because you calling this mistakes. This ain't no domesticated animal. Just because you raised it don't mean it's domesticated. Just because it didn't watch its mama as daddy hunt don't mean it don't know what it's supposed to do when it's trying to get a kill. Go for the neck. Go for the jugular. That's what it did, didn't it? That's what it did, didn't it? It went for the jugular. It went for the neck. And it didn't let go. It ripped my motherfucker up. Sprouting. Blood everywhere. Excuse me. I'm excited. This motherfucker tripping. You see, when you come across experts like this, don't take them seriously, people. These are the kind of people who will get you killed. I'm just saying.
what I'm talking about. You know, your cat can be super sweet and fun, and you can be tickling him on the tummy, and then he can just swipe at you out of agitation or.
It's not no cat. This ain't no domesticated animal. This is a killer, apex predator. This is like, oh, yes, yes. Y'all watched Alien? What's that thing called? I forget. There's the new series. It's out. Alien, where they got like these kids who are dying, and then they put them in synth bodies, like, you know, makeshift, make a wish bodies, and then they think they can live forever. And then this one girl starts talking to aliens that crash from a research spaceship, right? And all of a sudden, this girl, the synth, is talking to the apex predator, the alien, and the alien starts killing everybody. And then y'all gonna say shit like this.
That's a cat at the end of the day, and I for any cat owners out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, your cat can be super sweet and fun, and you can be tickling him on the tummy, and then he can just swipe at you out of agitation or aggravation or just out of sheer boredom. And like I said before, the
cat never killed nobody. A cat never killed nobody. A cat don't have that instinct. A cat never went for nobody's jugular. If there is a cat out there, please do tell. A cat never went for nobody's jugular, but this expert right here says it was a mistake. Poor little tiger made a mistake and killed his handler. What are we talking about?
difference is when a tiger does that, it can be absolutely fatal. So it doesn't even matter if you raise them from a cub or you pull them out of the wild. I'm certain this tiger didn't want to kill Ryan.
You sure? You certain? I mean, Ryan's dead. But you're sure? How about you take a walk and go ask that, you take a walk into that tiger's enclosure and go ask that tiger, yo, tiger, why you kill Ryan, Tigger, why you kill Ryan, Tigger? Unbelievable.
It was just a cat being a cat. And
this don't end. It was just a cat being a cat. What are we doing here? I look, come on. I bet he's sad. Like, what? It was just a cat being a cat? I don't even get it, man. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? You just misinforming people. You should be saying, people, please be careful. Because these are wild animals. That's what you should be saying. We shouldn't forget these are wild animals. No matter how long you've known it, it's got its predatory instinct. It ain't no cat that's been domesticated for hundreds of years. It ain't no dog that's been domesticated for hundreds of years. This is a tiger. This tiger here was taken from its wild mama, right, who had fresh predatory instinct, and it was put in an enclosure. But now we gonna call it sad and devastated. Oh, poor little Tigger made a mistake and killed his handler. What?
That variable of unpredictability that large cats exhibit, and the fact that that predator instinct and that behavior is there, means that you can never truly trust them. Whether it's this or, you know, the old Vegas performers, I'm blanking on their names, but you know, these accidents happen around these big cats, and
they shouldn't happen. These accidents do happen because y'all think these cats are your pets. They're not pets. They're wild. They're animals. They are not pets. I repeat, they are not pets. take that to the bank.
It is the reason why so many institutions are against hands-on work with them.
Yeah, you're talking about Siegfried and Freud, and Freud, you're right. I completely, you're right. And that case, of course, happened a few years ago. And Ryan's father is explaining it the same way. He said it looked like a love bite. What?
You see, now I know for sure they not even contemplating euthanizing this kitty cat. Cause that's how they see it. Kitty cat. Love bite? This is the dead man's daddy talking about, oh, it was a love bite. This tiger went for the man's jugular, killed him. And the dead man's daddy is talking like, oh, it was a love bite. What are we talking about? This is nasty work. Y'all crazy.
Happens to this tiger now? Typically in these situations.
It's a great question. I'm not sure what the state of Oklahoma does in this situation because each state has its own laws. Typically, when an animal kills a handler, it is euthanized. Now, in this case, I believe a lot of these tigers were rescued, whether that was from Joe Exotic or other locations. So this tiger is already a problem child, if you will. So whether or not the tiger gets euthanized is hard to say. The unfortunate thing about it is it's not the tiger's fault. You know, while the tiger may have...
Of course it's not the tiger's fault. Tigger was being Tigger. He was doing what he was born to do. Of course it wasn't his fault. He ain't make no mistake. He saw your jugular pulsating and he said, that's where I'm supposed to be, right there. On this motherfucker's jugular. And he went for that jugular. And he went for it and he got his first kill. That was probably his first kill. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's probably his first kill. And he loved it. I'm pretty sure he don't regret it.
As his father said, giving him a love bite that ultimately was just poorly placed and ended Ryan's life.
When a wild predator, apex, goes for the kill, does it go for the thigh? Does it go for the belly? Does it go for the arm? Does it go for the dick? Or does it go for the jugular? Poorly placed love bite. Just a mistake. We talking about an apex predator. Crazy.
It was just a cat being a cat. So I'm not sure what will ultimately happen to this animal or any of the other animals at his facility. But hopefully, if they are rehomed, they're rehomed to places where perhaps there's a little bit more hands-off nature. Because ultimately, even though I do think the cats tend to enjoy that behavioral enrichment and that connection with people when they've been hand-raised, it never really is safe.
I mean, look at the size of that animal. It's absolutely incredible. They weigh close to 500 pounds. You mentioned Tiger King. Joe Exotic.
Bro, this Tigger's upper body alone. Look at his head. Tigger's head is as large as this man's torso. And you think you got this thing domesticated. Apex predator. What are we doing?
Wrote on Facebook, he wrote this: we don't need further laws to ban tigers because of this, because you can get killed doing just about anything. Would you agree with that?
That's bullshit. He said we all take risks in what we do, and we don't need further laws to ban tigers because you can get killed doing just about anything. Yes, you can get killed doing just about anything, but when you put yourself in an enclosure with an apex predator and you think you have domesticated that motherfucker just because you reared it since it was born, you naive, you dumb, you stupid. Because at one point or the other, that motherfucker is gonna act the fuck out like it was supposed to do, like it was born to do, right? Born to ride, I was born to kill. I'm an apex predator.
I mean, yes, but if you decide to hold a metal pole up in a lightning storm, you're more likely to get struck by lightning.
That's the first thing he said that I agree with.
Lightning, you know what I mean? If you're playing with a tiger, you're more likely to be killed by a tiger. I think that
Live by the gun, you die by the gun.
Law and regulation is already relatively loose in the state of Oklahoma around big cat ownership, which is why this preserve was there, why Joe Exotic's preserve was there. It's really, at the end of the day, not about the laws, but about people making good choices. And I'm not saying that Ryan made a poor choice, but he obviously had intimate contact with these animals, and you can see what the outcome was.
And Forrest, you yourself.
He trusted a girl, and he trusted a girl, and that girl cheated on him. Why? Because he was probably cheating on it. All right, he was probably cheating on the girl, and then you know what? The girl was like, "Yo,
Now
I know what you doing. You cheating." And if you gonna cheat, I can cheat too. I missed around and I started this thing over. Let's get to where we were.
Was there. It's really, at the end of the day, not about the laws, but about people making good choices. And I'm not saying that Ryan made a poor choice, but he obviously had intimate contact with these animals, and you can see what the outcome was.
And Forrest, you yourself have dealt with really big, intimidating animals. I'm sure you've had some scary situations you found yourself in.
Many, but you know, I typically work with wild animals, not captive hand-reared animals. And at the end of the day, and I'm sure Ryan would feel the same way, and I'm sure his father feels the same way, it's never the animal's fault. You know, it was Ryan who chose to go in and...
Again, this is the second thing I agree with him that he said this whole interview. It's not Tigger's fault. Tigger was being Tigger. Tigger was doing what he was born to do. Kill. Apex predator.
Interact with that animal. It's me who chooses to dart or collar or tag or work with predators. And if something happens of the big animal, or to try and save it, or to try and hunt it, whatever it happens to be, and it really is not the animal's fault. That tiger did not want to attack Ryan. Do you know what I mean?
Facts.
Ryan went into his enclosure and was working with him.
Facts.
And this was the very unfortunate outcome. So it doesn't matter what line of...
Unfortunate? I don't know. You fed yourself to this guy. You said, Tigger, taste my blood. I'm here for you.
Of dangerous predator work you're in. If you're working with them, there are huge risks involved.
Forrest, can I ask you of one of your harrowing experiences? Do you mind sharing it with us?
Yeah, I mean, I was darting lions in Zimbabwe a few years ago.
Oh, he was in Zimbabwe darting lions. Listen, I'm from Zimbabwe. I can appreciate this one. Lions from Zimbabwe, you don't fuck with, because those motherfuckers don't care who you are. They will kill you. He knows that. He knows that firsthand. I know that firsthand. I'm from Zimbabwe myself.
And one of the tranquilizers did not take fully, and so I had this big male lion come rushing over to me, and I ended up dropping flat on the ground in my camouflage because I was tracking him on foot, and he basically fell asleep on top of me, which, you know, had he not been as drunk on his dart serum and I not laid flat on the ground, it could have been a similar result to this. And that's with a wild lion. And you know, you just never know what's going to happen in the field with these things. It is so unpredictable, but you can see how magnificent they are, and they deserve all the respect and love, and not fear, but attention that they get in a positive light, in my opinion.
Well, that's an incredible story. I'm glad you're okay. And I appreciate you coming on today and talking about this. Forrest Galante, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below.
Guys, if you're going to mess with wild animals, take precautions, right? Be careful. Don't treat that thing like it's your homie. That's not your friend. That's a wild animal. All right? That's a wild animal, not your friend. Don't treat it like your friend. You might wish it was your friend, but he an apex predator. She's an apex predator. Treat it as such. DBNK, like, comment, leave a subscription, y'all. Let's grow this community. Ain't that some shit? Man got killed by a tiger. He raised from birth. Man, that ain't tragic. It's sad, but it ain't tragic. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. I'm sorry for him. It's sad. I'm sorry for his family. I don't know if I'm sorry for him, but I'm sorry for his family. But you put yourself in that position, you fuck around, you find out. All right. DBNK, ain't that some shit, y'all? Ain't that some shit? They calling it a mistake. That tiger done tasted blood. He ain't domestic no more. Like not like y'all think he is. Y'all better put him down because he had a taste for it. He gonna go for another, and then another, until y'all realize y'all done fucked up. Peace, love, and harmony, y'all. DBNK, some do say.